What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Ruin Spec. Today I'm going to be building an exhaust for the SC. I have two resonators, a U J bend, two of those, a 3-inch straight section, and basically it's all 304 stainless. For stainless, generally what you need to do is back purge with whether it's argon or trimix, because my regulator on my welder, this little guy here, is not set up to have a secondary purge valve, or I really don't know what it's called. I can't back purge. So there is this product that you can use, and it comes in a powder form. It's called Solar Flux. I don't know what the contents are, but the guy from the Fabrication series, or TFS, I'll include the thing right here so you guys can check him out. But he put me on this. I saw it in one of his videos. It seemed to work pretty well for him. Basically what you do is you mix it into a paste. I think I have a clip here. I'll insert that also. This is the viscosity you want, something like a paste, basically. And what you want to use is either methanol, like heat, the stuff you'll find at AutoZone, or just rubbing alcohol. And it has to be something that'll evaporate. So right now, we've cleaned the inside joints with some acetone. Pretty clean. We've also marked off, you can't really see it, but I've marked off where the pipe needs to line up. And we're just gonna sort of paint the inside a little bit and tack it in place. And you basically put it on the inside of the joint. And what that's going to do, it's going to shield it. It's going to prevent the oxygen from, well, oxidizing and doing its thing, causing like a weaker weld. So I've already got the downpipe right here. It's all tacked in place. Not gonna lie, this was a pain in the ass. This is pretty much my first time making a custom exhaust. I did make the hot side of this, of the turbo kit, and I mean, it came out pretty well. I did learn a few things here and there and tried to, put my knowledge into building this downpipe from what I learned making the hot side. You know, it is pretty tight over here, and it is pretty tight down here. But, you know, the mounts, they're pretty solid. Although they are poly mounts, they are squeezed in there really tight, so I don't think there are going to be any issues with rubbing. Worst case scenario, it rubs. We'll do it again and we'll make it better. Yeah, so it's tacked on this V-band, and I've got another V-band way down here, right? There's the other one. Here is the midsection. It's tucked pretty good, as you can see. I really worked hard on this to get all the angles right. And I'm just waiting on another 3-inch section, 3-inch straight section to come in the mail so I can finish it up. This resonator is going to be in the middle, right where, you know, the current exhaust is, and this is going to be the end tip. I like this turn down over here. It looks pretty cool, pretty functional. This is a Vibrant Ultra Quiet resonator, 3-inch, and this is also a Vibrant resonator, 3-inch. Not part of their Ultra Quiet series, just like a regular bullet style. You know, I bought this, it was like $70-something on eBay. And what I hope is that the exhaust will be pretty quiet and all you'll be hearing is whistling noises. You know, it is a 3-inch exhaust. I know that's pretty small for this setup. However, it is like relatively speaking, it is a smaller turbo with a 65 hot section. A lot of people, you know, with LS turbos, they've been recommending 75-75 or 78-75 with a bigger turbine, and that seems to make bigger power, but those guys are running like 3.5-inch and larger exhausts. I'm gonna build the exhaust, I'm gonna build this car up, and I'm gonna see how this will do, and this will be like my practice car, right? And once I get the hang of it, excuse my sweating, it's only 89 degrees, but it's like 70% humidity in New York, so it's like, Yeah, it feels like a jungle. So yeah, I'm sweating my balls off. Inside the car, oh, what was I saying? Yeah, it's gonna be my practice car, practice chassis, so everything that I learned from here in my next build, I want to be able to build it even better. Hopefully, that's like an S13 or an S14. I really love the kooky S14, and I want the next build, I would like to leave it as stock on the outside looking as possible, as well as the inside, meaning full interior, not gutted, or as full interior as possible. But if this motor does run well, I want to put it in there. So it's going to be a beast. It's a street sweeper, to say the least. On the inside, I want to update you also. I have a battery box. Please excuse the echo. It's grounded over there. There is a circuit breaker, 200 amps, and like you saw in the previous video, these are power cables from a Tesla supercharger. There is a fuse box or fuse panel underneath with the ECU, and I'm going to relocate that because the fuses are just way too hard to get to. There is the Y-band, a bunch of switches, a couple of relays down here. The dash is in, it's not bolted in, but it looks pretty good, and that will be painted black. I made these little spacers, come on, focus. Made these little spacers between the door panel, right? And one down here. There's another one right over here. I haven't put it in yet because I haven't gone to Home Depot to get the right screws, but basically it's just made out of some aluminum tube. Aluminum tube, looks like this. You get it from Home Depot. I think it's like $11, something like that. Cheap stuff. The radiator, I don't know, I've seen you guys comment on how I pronounce the radiator. I say radiator, I don't know why. It's probably radiator. But yeah, I made the shroud. It's made of 6061 aluminum. I believe it's 040 inches. And you know, I just cut it with some shears, rounded off the edges. But basically, the purpose of this is because I just had the fans bolted directly onto the radiator, and it doesn't cover much surface area, right? So what you want to do is shroud the entire surface of the radiator. That way the fans will pull air not just from the circumference of the fan, but also from the outside portions. It was pretty easy to make. You know, I just took some angle aluminum like this. I got 4 pieces from Home Depot. These were like almost $2 a pop, which is crazy cheap. And I had the sheet aluminum I sacrificed from the sunroof. It was just, you know, it had too much of a bacon effect because it was too thick. I'm gonna use a more malleable type of aluminum. I think 3031 or something like that is ideal, you know, and a lot thinner. To have less of that bacon effect. I might even put some washers or something. Yeah, this is, that's pretty much just cut up the angle strips. I welded it in place and then riveted the sheet on there. So hopefully it has a better pull and a better effect. The fans, these are Amazon fans or eBay fans. They're decent. I think they pull about like 1100 CFM each on a good day or a good batch from the overseas manufacturer. But you know, they're all soldered and the Megasquirt controls it. They're set to turn on at I think 190 and turn off at 180. There is no low speed or high speed, but they're just going to turn on and off depending on the temperature, so that should work okay. I got the Overflow over here. It's a repurposed brake container, pretty cool, with a little breather hole. Yeah, I mean, function, right? So it's just a strip of steel. I think it's like galvanized, and you can see it over here. This is like the generic stuff that comes with like oil coolers and stuff. I just bent it up and stuck a bolt through it. Got T-bolt clamps. I mean, simple but effective. There's the methanol bung. Please excuse my sloppy welds. This is MIG welded aluminum, so it's never gonna be, it's as pretty as I can get it. Oh, this is important. Down here, that's the Summit balancer. The reason I went with the Summit balancer is because the truck balancer right here is like 7.5 inches in diameter. That's like 5 and change. that was definitely needed because the larger diameter pulley would have had clearancing issues with the water neck, and I had to do a straight water neck because of the turbo kit. The OEM one comes down at like a 45-degree angle, and this alternator pulley is also smaller in diameter. By how much, I can't remember, but it is definitely smaller. Again, like if I have to put this motor into another chassis in the future, I'm definitely redoing this hot side. If I were to point out things I don't like about the way I built this currently, and you know, I'm already committed to it, so I can't really change a couple of things, is that the motor sits a little bit high, and I'm not too pleased with that. If I were to drop the motor, that means I'd have to redo the downpipe. Might have to redo the turbo kit because that drain will hit the frame. You know, so in the next build, I'm gonna orient the motor a little bit lower, therefore lowering the center of gravity, and redoing the turbo kit on the hot side where it can, I don't know, optimize the orientation of everything, so things will just work better, easier to service. I'll have the planning better laid down, packed, so it's just all in all a cleaner build, and you know, it makes more sense. This is my first attempt, so I think I did pretty well for a first, you know, attempt at something like, you know, of this magnitude. The next build, hopefully in an S14 or a Type X kitted S13, is going to be much cleaner, and but you know, this is all a learning experience. I hope you guys are learning something by watching my videos also. Sorry for the rant, but oh, here. This is the O2 sensor. I'm gonna put it right smack over here. It's supposed to be a certain distance away from the turbo. I think this is sufficient. I don't know what the real distance is, but it's like, I heard 6 to 8 inches or something like that. Kind of off topic from the, oh wait, you know what? Yeah, another thing is that I rolled the fenders. Paint is chipping even though I used a blowtorch. Contrary to popular belief is that you have to use a heat gun to soften the paint. You do have to soften the paint, but you could also use a blowtorch. Now, on darker paints, right, like this green, the blowtorch will not show much discoloring. But if you have like silver or something, yeah, or white, don't use a blowtorch. But on a darker color, you can use a blowtorch to soften the paints. You have to keep it soft. I let it cool down too much, that's why it's flaking on the inside. But I don't know if you see this little ripple over here. This is because on the inside, Lexus and Toyota mounts their fender liner with these plastic set screws, and there are holes. The holes create a soft section in the metal, or, I should rephrase that. The holes create a less structural section in the metal, so when you're rolling it and the fender buckles, or the fender folds, it will buckle in certain places due to the lack of material. And you can also see it over here a little bit. It's not terrible. I hope you like this update. Thanks for watching. I am sweating like a pig, but let me finish up this exhaust and we'll do a first start and catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.